Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic Live. I'm your host, Neil Johnson, with exciting news, folks. There's a bunch of good things that have happened here. I'm going to start you off with something funny before I get to the big story, just because you guys need to see this. It will absolutely make you laugh. And I think one of the things that's so key to this is how Trump controls media narratives. He goes on offense. So many, I was talking to my kids about this the other day, even like renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. People were like, oh, that's just a stupid little thing. And I heard all the comments about it. It's actually really big because if you remember, the left has played the renaming war on us for so long. And all conservatives did was what? What did conservatives do when everything was renamed to some wokeism? Okay. What did conservatives do? Okay. Something completely different than what Trump did. I'm curious. I just want an answer in my chat. I want to see who's got this because they were consistently renaming U.S. military bases, U.S. battleships, U.S. everything. Jan Hood says they did nothing. That's part of it. But really what they did was whined, okay? They just whined. That's all conservatives did. Oh, no, it really stinks. They did. Can you believe they did that? How many of you guys have heard? Can you believe they did that? Well, watch this. This is so awesome. Trump understands the naming game, and he understands the press and optics. Check it out.
On a scheduling note, tomorrow, President Trump will travel to the great state of Florida to attend the opening of a new illegal alien detention center located at Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport alongside Secretary Kristi Noem, Governor Ron DeSantis, Congressman Byron Donalds, and other state and local leaders. We hope to see many of you there. The facility is in the heart of the Everglades and will be informally known as Alligator Alcatraz. There's only one road leading in.
Folks, do you get it? Carolyn Levitt's having fun. Informally known as Alligator Alcatraz. No, if you just jumped on, this isn't the big story. Don't worry, we're coming to that, but this is fun.
And the only way out is a one-way flight. It is isolated and surrounded by dangerous wildlife and unforgiving terrain. The facility will have up to 5,000 beds to house, process, and deport criminal illegal aliens. This is an efficient and low-cost way to help carry out the largest mass deportation campaign in American history. And
then she reminds you, this is the largest mass deportation campaign in American history. Intellectual iconoclasm. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Okay, so that's cool. But that's not the big story. But see, I want more people. I've only got 521 on. Please smash that like. I want more people to catch this because this really is a big story that I'm very, very excited about. So while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to share with you one other thing. Oh, I'll mention my sponsor too quick. You guys know Birch Gold. Folks, it is, Trump is crushing it right now. He really is. And he's going out there and doing great things for America. But our personal responsibility is for our finances. And I have a lot to say on that. I should probably do a specific show on that because right now everybody's complaining about Medicaid. Well, the reality is we shouldn't be relying on the government for anything. I'm serious about this. We should not be relying on the government for anything. We should be relying on friends, neighbors, relatives, churches, and ourselves. Well, anyways, in your personal finances, that's certainly true. So gold has been on a tear. Okay, we're at a point now where central banks are still buying it in record quantities. I understand there was a dip this last week. I don't worry about dips. I just buy it, hold it. But I've got a lot of silver too, and that constitutional silver, I've got that. I've got the American Silver Eagles, but you can get all of it from Birch Gold by texting Lumberjack to 989-898. You can get the free info kit. No obligation, just useful information. Again, that's Lumberjack to 989-898. Go check it out. But now, on to this other news. I've got a guest joining me, too. I don't know where they are right now, but just give it a minute. All right, we're going to bring this back in. Well, a few more people are joining. I think this is a really important story I want to cover with you. Okay? I don't know how many of you guys know who this is. Villain, and this is from a UK tour, but the State Department has just revoked the visas for British singer Bob Dylan and his band after Dylan led a Death to the IDF chant at a festival. Dylan was set to go on a U.S. tour in late October, which won't be happening anymore, nor should it be. We do not need people who are making chants like this. We don't need to allow them into our country. Calling for death to our ally in the Middle East, it's just retarded. Watch this. First, he starts with a free.
free. Alright, but have you heard this one though? Death to the IDF, death to the IDF, death.
Okay, really? Like, so he leaves them in this chant about death to the IDF, Israeli Defense Forces, for the uninitiated. All right, now, I'm just glad his visa is being revoked. I'm glad that's taking place. And now we're going to get into I've just got to move things around here. And we got the next story coming in right here. And this is a big one. Okay, folks. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she just got off the phone with President Trump. This was just a few hours ago. Told him about my new bill I'm introducing that will save America's elections from ever being stolen again. Now it says my bill will require the U.S. Census Bureau to conduct a new census immediately upon enactment of the bill. In conducting the new census of the U.S. population, it shall require questions determining the citizenship of each individual and count U.S. citizens only. Upon completion of the census, the bill will direct states to immediately begin redistricting of all U.S. House seats process using only the population of United States citizens. Thank you, President Trump, for your strong support of my bill, making American elections great again. Let's get this done. People, I don't know if everybody understands just how big this is, but my special guest understands how big this is. And it just so happens that they're here in the background right now. I'm going to bring them into the stage. So give a warm welcome, LUMBERJACK welcome to Heather. Heather, you're out on the road and you were like, you just called just before I was going live. And I told you I was going live and you're like, well, what about? And I said, Marjorie Taylor Greene is putting forth this bill to only count U.S. citizens in the census, require reapportionment of districts immediately upon completion of this new census, because right now we have, depending upon whose numbers you want to use, okay, so there's varying numbers on this, 11 million to 30 million illegal aliens in the country that are being counted into the census. This is changing the congressional map, the electoral college. It's changing everything. And I'm not even talking about illegals voting right now, folks. I am simply talking about the congressional map. The Republicans would be up almost 30 seats if you just took care of this one problem.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, this is the way that they've been rigging the election for years, Neil, is by this way of, like, you know, there's a reason they have those.
Your mic is really hot. Your mic is really hot. Like, you're coming in super loud.
Oh,
super,
is that?
Yeah, it is. Are you on, like, Bluetooth?
How about now?
Oh, gosh, that's so much better. Everybody, is that better in the chat? Is that so much better?
Bluetooth,
everybody?
it was coming through my car.
Yes. They never work well for this.
This is one of many ways that they've been. Hi, Immortal Legend. I have Instagram and I have Facebook, but I'm not so much on Facebook. But I have Instagram at Talk Mullins, so you can go follow me there.
Yeah. Instagram.
But, like, there's so many ways that they've been rigging the system, and this is one of those ways. So it's nice to see members of Congress actually putting bills in place to try to combat the election fraud, because if we don't get the election fraud under control, then we're only gonna have President Trump in there for a certain amount of years. So we need to use the opportunity that we have with the Senate and the House and the presidency and try to get as many bills passed as we can that's going to secure future elections. So this is huge, Neil. Huge.
Well, this is beyond huge. And what people need to understand is we're running up against midterms here. This is why her bill is so big, because if we're going to do a census now and get it done before the midterms, I am not kidding, folks. We're talking 25 to 30 seats right now. Right now, the Democrats have the hope of taking all this back. This is colossal. This ensures Trump will have remaining years with a Republican legislature to get his bills passed. Do you guys, let me just.
Amen. I mean, and I just want to give Marjorie Taylor Greene an extra shout out. Because these people on social media, because of the whole, like, you know, Israel-Iran issue or whatever, there's been all these personalities coming out trying to say that people like Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene are not MAGA, or they're basically trying to get Trump's base to alienate people like Gaetz and Marjorie. But I just want to point out, like, this bill is is Marjorie Taylor Greene's character, right? She's somebody who has been fighting so hard for America for so long over the last 4 years. Her and Matt Gaetz both spoke at so many of Trump's rallies, like spanning like 8 years, not just like this recent one, but they were going to his rallies in the midterm elections in 2022 when he was trying to get people across the finish line so that we would have the majority that we have today. She was speaking at those rallies. She was traveling with him. And so I just really want to emphasize and give credit where it's due, and that's to Marjorie Taylor Greene, who, in my opinion, is one of the most pro-American members of Congress we have. She's one of the only members of Congress that, you know, advocated for J6ers that were, you know, American citizens wrongly imprisoned and persecuted by like a bad government and a bad justice system. Marjorie Taylor Greene was that member of Congress that was in your corner fighting for you. She was at the prison. She was doing all of this. And so it's like been so frustrating for me to see on platforms like X, these like weird people that were never in the MAGA movement, right? That were never,
like,
they weren't
Mark
advocating
Levin.
for,
Like Mark Levin.
but there's other ones too. There's other names that are coming out, and it's like this coordinated effort to try to alienate the people that have been the forefront of this movement, whether it's Steve Bannon, Jack Posobiec, Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene. All these people have put blood, sweat, and tears into trying to do what's best for America. And this bill that she just like filed proves she's America focused and drown out all the noise and pay close attention to the voices trying to turn you against people like her. Because this is a propaganda war as much as any other war. And there's going to be these coordinated efforts to try to turn you against the very people that have carried this movement to the White House and beyond. And so we need to stay grounded, remember who our OGs are, who have been in this fight with us, you know, for the last 8+ years, and don't lose sight of that. Because it, like, I've seen people that I genuinely respect now, like, questioning Marjorie over, like, a simple position on a single issue. Really question them because, you know, eradicate in your mind all the good these people have done. I just see it happening, like the propaganda war and people being like,
yeah,
you know, buying into this.
I
but
think
Marjorie
Heather
is amazing, and I will stand by her.
You're breaking up so bad right now. I don't know. You're like you're breaking up a little bit, but I want to just on your point. You're okay. Mark Levin was one of the first ones to go along with the media narrative about J6. You could not tell him anything. I tried. So this is the reality. So right now, simply because Trump dropped some bombs in Iran, we're at a point now where all these I mean, the thing that made me most concerned about Trump dropping bombs in Iran and me being good with it was when Mark Levin and Lindsey Graham and John Bolton said Trump did good. Then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm agreeing with John Bolton. But I actually, there are certain things.
Also, Mike Pence and Chris Christie also congratulated Trump.
Yes.
And I'm like,
yes.
what?
I know. Then you start worrying. But I do think it was necessary, and I think his surgical strike was good. I think Trump handled it all very well, actually. But that being said, anyways, that being said, folks, when you look at something like this is an even bigger issue. This is what you need to understand. This right here, if we don't secure the census, if we don't secure the elections based off the census, the apportionment of seats, and if you want to know how good it is, all you have to do is go down in the comments, okay, and start reading some of these. MTG, your proposal isn't about election integrity. It's a blatant attempt to rig representation by erasing millions of lawful residents. He can't call them citizens, and they're not lawful because they're here illegally. These are the kinds of idiot arguments that you'll get from congressional redistricting, violating the 14th Amendment and established constitutional precedent. Do better. Let's be clear, representing the House is based on population, not citizenship. Look at his name, Fatima Khan. Okay, she's probably Iranian.
I know.
So you can always see this stuff, and it's out there. And anytime you start triggering the left this bad, you know that the bill is that good.
Yep. Yeah.
So, but here, I got another one for you, Heather. You want to see something really fun? Check this out. This is next level, folks. This is next level writing from The Guardian. lefty trope that it is, but check this out. This is so good. They're whining. How do we resist and rise? We have to believe the impossible is possible. V, formerly Eve Ensler. Look at got their name handle even. In this authoritarian and suffocating climate where being an American feels like a curse, where just breathing here feels like complicity with genocide, psychotic imperialism, misogyny, and endless racism, it is hard to move, let alone imagine what one can do to transform this horde to good. This is real writing, Heather. Every day, people are kidnapped by masked men in unmarked cars, taken to hidden sites, and left in deplorable conditions. Starving people in Gaza are slaughtered as they clamor for a bag of flour. Public officials and leaders humiliated and murdered. The T erased from LGBT. Folks, can you think of a bigger crime than that? Brain dead women forced to give birth, the glib language of hate and cruelty and easy, thoughtless threats of world war, assassination, and dehumanization circling like invisible poison. Wait, did you catch this one? Brain dead women forced to give birth. Is she saying that liberal women now are forced to give birth? That must be what that means. Anyway, what feels most perilous is the steady evaporation of the boundaries of what seemed impossible.
Said it, not us.
I know. Only a few weeks ago, morality, compassion, care, slashed and burned. And yet I think of Beckett, I can't go on. I'll go on. The world is essentially over. I will fight for another day. I have lost my faith in humans. I commit to love them more.
I mean,
I'm telling you, folks, we're seeing the world a little differently. I
have no words. I have no words. I feel very sorry for these people because I'm like, they don't realize that like everything the Trump administration's been doing, the deportations, all this other stuff, it's to make them safer, right? Like it's all to make, like the reason that America is such a great place that people want to immigrate to is because we had borders, because we had checks and balances and things in place that made sure that bad people weren't coming here. And it's like to see them cry more about that than, you know, than like the fact that our borders were wide open, which I'd been to, right? Like I saw the kids' toys, the kids' underwear, like there's like follow Ben Bergquam, he covered the rape, the trafficking of these children, of like it was so bad, and yet these people all said nothing, probably because they didn't know. They were probably watching, you know, media and stuff that didn't show them what was really going on at the border, or they would support these policies. They would support Tom Homan. And it's crazy to see how warped and psychologically brainwashed people have been by propaganda disseminated by news networks here in America, that they are convinced the good guy is actually their enemy. Like it's mind-boggling, honestly.
Do you know, speaking of Tom Homan and, you know, all these other people we've been mentioning, I think I'm going to mention something, Heather. Both you and I are going to be at this event, so we should let folks know. But it is the Turning Point USA Student Action Summit in Tampa, Florida. So I will be broadcasting from there, people. That's going to be July 11th through the 13th. And just to show you, no, the lineup isn't there on this part. I've got the lineup.
Yeah,
somewhere.
You go to if you go to the tab on the right and then click on events.
Go to events.
Yeah, click on events.
Where is this? Events, media events. There it is.
Okay, there we go. And then you'll see SAS. Click on that, and it'll show everyone who the speakers and stuff are.
Is it the one right at the top? No, that's no. America Fest, SAS. There we go.
Click it, and then.
Yep. There we go, folks. So this is who will be there. We'll be covering this event.
And so if a good chance, we'll get some interviews with some of those speakers as well, because I've got some connections through Turning Point.
Yes. So if you are not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Because
wait, scroll down.
Scroll down.
Oh, my guy Tom Homan's going to be there.
I know. This is okay, folks. Tom Homan is going to be there. Absolutely. If I can score an interview with anybody, I want Tom Homan. This is 100%. Like, I am going to meet Tom Homan while I'm there, and so that's going to happen. But there's look at this. This is an all-star lineup. We've got Christy Noem, Pete Hegseth's going to be there, Charlie Kirk, of course, Megyn Kelly, Don Jr., Steve Bannon, and if you know
Ross
some
Ulbricht. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I know. This is kind of a tripper for me. It's going to be interesting to.
I would love to interview Ross. Honestly, that's I have so many questions for him.
Yes, Rep. Byron Donalds is going to be there.
Yeah.
Josh Hawley. I'd like to interview Josh Hawley. He's one of the better senators out there. Riley Gaines, James O'Keefe, and so on. So
Alexis down there at the bottom. That's a good friend of mine that I met through Turning Point and through another organization. Her and I actually went down to the border together, and now she's Kash Patel, the FBI director's girlfriend.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she's amazing. Has an incredible voice. She sings like just such a great all-American woman, and now she's dating the FBI director. So I'm like, power couple.
Well, this is cool. We're gonna just bring a lot of news from there. I just I just had to pick up my plane ticket, get registered today, so that's all there. So we're gonna be
I just lost your audio because I got a phone call while I was on here.
Yeah, well, you're back. So there you go.
Hang on one second.
You're gonna do the D&D there. Anyhow, so anyways, there's a bunch of folks there, but there are Tom Homan. So I will be broadcasting from that. That's July 11th through the 13th. I'll book my ticket once I get done with this. I just got set up for the summit. I got an invite from one of the gals who runs the event to come down there and do some media coverage of it. Will there be alligators at this event? I'm sorry, Pappy. I don't think the alligators will be there. But by the way, speaking of alligators, I'm going to show you something really good. Here, Heather just jumped back on, but here, I want to show you guys something really good. This is, let me go. Oh yeah, here, look at this too. Just so you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene talked about it. Stephen Miller and Marjorie Taylor Greene, Donald Trump, they're all working on this issue, okay, that we've already talked about. But if you're just jumping on the stream, just so you know, this is taking place. This census thing is bigger than people realize, but it's really huge because it's going to happen before the midterms if they get this bill done. And that's what's really big, because I want to see that. We would totally be the U.S. House would not have the same makeup if they weren't counting illegals into the census. And another big thing that happened, Heather, I don't know if you heard this, but it turns out the Wisconsin Supreme Court did not take up the case for redistricting in Wisconsin, which means those two House seats will most likely stay there. So anyhow, you having trouble getting your phone right there, Heather? Your audio is garbled. It's all garbled.
Yeah,
it must be.
Let me try leaving and coming back one more time.
Yeah, try through the Bluetooth. But here, I'm going to show you guys all something really cool. I got to go to my profile on X, and I'm going to show you something really neat. Okay, that's a good one by Ron DeSantis, but I'm not looking for that. Literally, this, folks, from the Department of Homeland Security's official X account. Look at this. Okay, can you read that? Coming soon, and there's all the alligators with the ice hat on. If this isn't understanding media narrative and trolling the left, here, let's go find out if the lefties have dropped any comments on this. None on mine. We got to go to the original post. Oh, yeah, here. This is a great reminder for you, folks, because this was Alejandro Mayorkas just a year ago.
But remember that our detention capacity, and this is not specific to our administration, this has been historic. Our detention capacity is not sufficient to meet the number of people we encounter, and therefore we have to release people into the United States.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Oh, I forgot that was on there. Anyways, but no, they really don't know what they're doing. Okay. Alligator Alcatraz is going to be lit. America is getting their sense of humor back again. Having fun, folks. It's okay to laugh a little. Okay, so here we go. Here the lefties start. Why do ICE agents cover up their faces? LAPD officers that work in gang-infested areas do not. Oh, here we go. Another one. Janie, high priestess of the resistance. Terrible things are happening outside. Poor, helpless people are being dragged out of their homes. Okay, so they're trying to compare this to Nazi Germany. Absolutely just a bunch of stooges. Okay. Christy Nome should be in jail for posting this. You know it's working when the left gets triggered. Please secure the northern border while you're out. That's actually a good point. But this administration is doing good things, but the other lack of seriousness of your comms team really sucks. Actually, we do take them seriously. We know Alligator Alcatraz is there. Okay. This is just awesome, and they understand the media and how to work against that narrative. Heather, by the way, you'll appreciate this. Good old Ron DeSantis. I know he's not your favorite, but I like him, and I really like this post he made. This is really good stuff. There was an article in The Hill, and it says red states have launched a hostile takeover of public universities. And Ron DeSantis said universities that are established by the state and funded by taxpayers should be accountable to the people. It may seem like a hostile takeover to those who feel entitled to use universities to advance a leftist agenda. If anything, the hostile takeover occurred when higher education veered away from its core mission. And very true. So, but that's kind of it, Heather. I'm kind of done with the stream. The big story is that they are taking on the Census Bureau, recounting without the illegals in there. This is a bill that is going up.
Amazing.
It's huge.
And the likelihood of this is passing, Neil, is good, right?
Well, it is good actually, because we can apply pressure to the Republican senators and Republican congressmen and women, and get them to vote the right way. And this is huge. This is a real mega move. So again, what Marjorie Taylor Greene, I know people were complaining about her, yada yada yada. Okay, because she said something about dropping bombs, but holy cats, look at this super chat. Keep it up, Neil. Make Graders Gate again. Hope for sanity. That's a huge super chat. $100. Thanks. I'll use it to buy food when I'm down in Florida. But this is big, because people talk about being MAGA and they talk about America. This is MAGA. When we secure elections, if we do not have secure elections, we do not have a constitutional republic, folks. This is what it all comes down to. What it all comes down to. Don't ever kid yourself. So, Heather, do you have any closing thoughts? Are you going to have enough coverage to give a closing thought? No, we can't hear her, can we? All right. Well, my closing thoughts are, this is the most important legislation before the United States House right now. Endorsed by Miller, endorsed by Trump. Marjorie Taylor Greene brought it to the floor. So you can quit jaw-jacking about how bad Marjorie Taylor Greene is if you were doing it, because this is the greatest bill I've seen put forward. Please go check out my sponsor, MyPillow, mypillow.com/lumberjack. Free shipping, even on the mattresses and mattress toppers. A couple of you have commented you picked up a mattress topper or a mattress this last week. I don't know how long the free shipping sale will last, especially on the big items, because even when Mike runs those deals, they're typically not on the big items, okay? Like mattresses and mattress toppers. So go check it out. MyPillow.com/lumberjack, or call 1-800-568-2865. The percale sheet, $29.88. All right. Also, Heather says to follow Real America First News on X. It's just at Real Am First News. At Real Am First News. Heather's the news director there now. So, and that's also, she'll be posting coverage from Student Action Summit. I'll be posting coverage here on my YouTube channel. So that's a big thing. So thank you so much for the support. Really, thank you big time for that super chat. Hope for sanity, that $100. Help me eat while I'm down there. Turning Point is covering my plane ticket. They're excited for me to come down there and cover the event. So got some help on that. So anyways, I just want to thank you again, because that's really big. And thank you. Thank you all. You're a great audience. I love you all. Peace out.